Dear families of this planet Earth, okay, so please subscribe to our channel and put thumbs up at our videos, and we really appreciate your cooperation. And soon we're going to have some videos that you can write the name of your organization or church that already closed down. And you can also write the name of your school that's already applying the Peace and Love program, okay? You're just gonna write first the name of your continent, country, state, city, and then write the name of your school, okay? As it is in your own language, and soon after translate it in English, okay? We're gonna have a few videos like that just for basic things, all right? So we can see how we are doing, how many places, countries. All right, thank you so much. And here we have updates for desert and a few other updates. Thank you. And please type everything. Let's have everything ready. Let's get ready. See you soon. All right, my friends, here we are. Let's talk about deserts, villages, right? So here's the second for farms as well. So it's a second plan, because we all this work for desert, my friends, we also have to do for monoculture farms at all continents. We just can't plant something there and believe they're gonna be good in 6 months of watering. Those that I said we are going to have 6 months after the last tree planted, 6 months of watering, are those that will be sustainable. They already have a good soil, microbes, bacteria, right, on those soils. We cannot believe, of course, that monoculture farm that use synthetic pesticides, synthetic herbicides, going to be ready in 6 months, right? So we have to be there 5 years. And if it's a semi-arid or desert land, even more, 10 or 20 years, right? So every case might we need every area, right, for the owners to make their own study. They have to do the same. They start with 4 couples that will become 10 couples and evaluate the area. Why? Because if it's one farm and everyone else were already planting organic, right? The other farmers are organic, non-GMO, that's one thing. But some places, my friend, is one farm after another planting, GMOs, in using pesticides, synthetic pesticides, synthetic herbicides, so my friend, those places gonna need more time, okay? All right, very good. But of course, they also, places that is staying longer, they can also start producing something else to fix nitrogen to the soil, such as many things, but we can have, for example, peanuts, many simple things. They can have different areas of that farm, so they can plant something here and here, and then something else in between. Okay, all right. So now let's go to these farms and state parks and national parks, because some of them, they are pure desert, right? It's not because it's a state park, national park, that are beautiful with a great biodiversity. So we have to do those, remember, a route, a good route, whichever it is, appropriate for that area, because then the trucks keep going, and then fill up their tanks and start again. You know, so the best as possible, you know, not straight lines, but the best as possible. In a way, they stop where they can fill up, and then they finish another route and get more water and start everything again, right? Okay, so they don't have to go all the way around. Some places are huge, some state parks, national parks, they're huge. They need 2 water wells, or some national parks need 4 water wells, right? Okay, but in a way sustainable. Right, some other parks, if they have good soil, you know, with good minerals, we're gonna extract, and bring to places. Remember I said that? Some very few things, I'm just doing a review, you know, because so people have an idea on other videos that were already explained with details. Okay, so we are going to make those ponds, okay? And as I posted here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, so for the streams, right? The streams and the lakes they go to. I think I already made a video like that, so now we're just gonna go quick. All right, so all ponds will have aquatic plants, you know, as I said, to keep the moisture right there. And all ponds are gonna be like that. And they have right on the top hose, so they will never overflow. You know, if they overflow in the future, it's okay. You know, if these holes get clogged, it's fine. But while people are there, they're gonna come every month and they're gonna clean those holes. So this way you keep the proper level, you keep the fish that you plan to keep there with the type of plants, you know, that is more gentle ones or rougher ones, you know, and of course trees that gonna give some seeds for those fish, right? Okay, so everything a perfect way. Okay, while people are there, we're gonna make everything we can. Small bushes, right, cannot be large trees, so this pond won't break. Okay, and everything gonna do in concrete, and along the centers, then they're gonna take care of themselves. That's fine, but we really have to work, you know, for all counties to have focus in a different biome, you know. So if we get any country, anywhere, good soil or not, we have to focus, you know, what type, and that won't be repeated for that distance, okay? But this is afterwards. We talk more details how we're gonna do that, right? So first is to have your plants and work in the soil and bring bacteria and have good compost, okay? And then we're gonna tell you how we're gonna do that. All right, so we're gonna do by every 50 kilometers, maybe it's good, right? And people from all continents, they calculate from the beach. And people from this side of the continent, they also calculate. So number 1 here, number 1 here, number 2 here, number 2, and they go until the center of their continent. And of course, we choose a city right there so people know. I think that will be good, and we repeat every 10, so every 50 kilometers. Shall we do that? I think that's easy. Okay, so let's do that. Every 50 kilometers, we do a different biome. For Africa, 50 kilometers, I think is reasonable, right? Instead of doing every 5. Let's wait. I'm gonna think about that, because, you know, if we do every 5 kilometers a different biome, or okay, that's for desert. Okay, for desert, let's do every 5 kilometers. For everyone else, 50 kilometers, just to be easy. Shall we do that? Okay, great, agreement done. All right, so what else I have to say here? To end in a lake, okay, all the big rivers, right? So we're gonna have the holes there, but no holes on the bottom, okay? On the bottom, I'm gonna put the mud, and so those aquatic plants, you know, can have good root system. And tiny fish, only tiny fish, the best as possible. The other thing I didn't say, you know, for more than a year, I think, it's all lakes that have piranha, they have to be taken out entirely. Put a pump there, empty out all the water, and get those tractor and scoop them really, that mud, scoop away really well those mud, because we can't have one egg of piranha in any lake. You know, they're really aggressive. They eat other fish, and then when you see, you only have piranha the entire lake. I saw lakes in close to the Tocantins River, this huge river I told you a few times, Araguaia River, you know. So we went in lakes, you know, that have only piranha, you know. When I was early teen, we went many times to camp at this big river called Araguaia, you know. So we're gonna scoop them entirely. Of course, after, you know, the population have a water well, people that gonna be helping doing these things, but it's mandatory because on a river. And then we do with prayers, you know, for rivers to have harmonious fish. That's okay if one and another is alive. But in lakes, they're very aggressive. The same way as alligators, crocodiles, we have to take them out entirely. Okay, all right. And for animals, what we are going to do, we can use a bow and arrow, because we are not using guns, right? We already talked about that. So we can have bow and arrows with those sleeping things, you know, a net. You know, instead of put venom on, just put these sleeping things, you know. Instead of shooting them, you know, we put these sleeping things. I think we can also use, but I don't know if that's safe, use the needle with this, and because it get there, in about 1 or 2 minutes, they fall down, okay? And then the person complete to decapitate the animal, because we have to finish those animals. All right, the other things for grazing animals, forbidden to have any grazing animals. All right, so people will have 2 days to get rid of them entirely, you know, and send them to proper butchers. Okay, first they take, if it's sheep, take the wool out, of course, you know, because we're gonna use everything the animals offer, we're gonna use, you know, whales, everything that they may offer, right? The meat, the oil, whichever it is, or the wool, we're gonna use. All right, so if they have anything, what we're gonna do, you have 2 days, right, to clean up. But some people, they might even have 400, and they will find for sure 400 locations that can cut them. Even people from the village, some animals are easy to cut, right? They clean them up, cut, put in transparent bags, take the air out, and they give to local people, right? Okay, and some they can share, right? They can share with close by counties, right? The airport or railroad, whichever it is. Of course, if they contact those schools, you know, say, look, I have 100 kilos, I have 400 kilos, you know, do you want? You have, because everyone gonna have proper refrigerators, because nobody gonna have refrigerators at home anymore. All those refrigerators need to go to schools or the airport to send to those that do not have, such as deserts, right? Okay, great. So you have 2 days. So you're gonna find those people, you know, even that they don't have the perfect environment, but they can do many animals, many small animals, they can do like that. All right, those that have cows and other animals, right, then it's different. They need more structure to hold the animal and cut them in parts, and So they just contact. If they need more days, okay, 2 days was not really enough, but they prove that they really try, then it's okay. And for cows, they already will go to their regular butchers, right? Every cow, old or new or calves, they already have the people that they sell them, right? Okay, so maybe they're busy that week because of another farmer got there first. That's okay, as soon as they have the email back. Look, I contact everyone in my area, and I also contact those that usually I sell to them, and they're busy, but they already schedule a day for me, for my 1,000, 2,000, whichever, how many animals you have. And we are going to process them from this day to this day. You get that email, so you won't lose points, you as the farmer owner. Make sense? Okay. And of course, it's forbidden to have grazing and animals of any type anywhere. They're the first to go. So they will give meat for people. For good 2 years, we have enough meat of just those farm animals and hunting, a lot. Okay, and for sure for 5 years, because after we get those farms and everything, we're gonna start focusing more time in hunting. Okay, all right, with prayers and as other ways we already talked about. Okay, so everyone will have small running streams made with concrete on the bottom. Okay, all right. We are not using plastic. I don't think plastic is a good idea. But if really need, because you can't have concrete for the entire planet, right? Every five square kilometer to have a concrete ponds. So at the deserts, let's get Africa again, right? Okay, so what we can do with all these thousands of villages we're gonna have here, right? What we can do is some will be concrete and some will be this liner, this very thick 1 or 2 or 4 liners, because we can make plastic really easy. We just need petroleum. We have petroleum everywhere in all continents, so some gonna be this liner. I just don't know, for us to have for really a few decades, I believe 4 liners for those lakes, those ponds, right? I believe 4 liners. So they go 1 meter out of the border, and then they go down because we need plants right here. So 1 meter, and then they go down about a half meter or so. So they're stable. We put rocks all around to hold that plastic, and the plant's gonna be soon after, right? Soon after, because it's gonna be bushes, so they don't come too close, but that will be good. The stream can also bring seeds that those fish need, and every stream gonna have the overflow going somewhere. Okay, all right, so that's very good, because at those streams, in the future, we can even do with bamboo, right? As soon as we start, as soon as possible, with plastic, whichever we have, those streams, we can also dig and put plastic. Put the liner, put rocks or bricks on the side to hold it, okay? And we're gonna be fine for many years until we plant bamboo and harvest bamboo or receive them for free from somebody, right? And then we just put 1 bamboo on the top of the other. Before they finish comes the other. Before they finish comes the other. Make sense? Okay, for us to have these streams going. So first is artificially and after won't be. All right. The other things about irrigation. We know that some problems of some deserts, they have many different problems, right? Some doesn't rain, some is the soil, some is a combination of everything. So some is from grazing, some is from so many different things, right? Okay, so The irrigation, we need this irrigation from water wells to keep going to all these main streams, those main areas, watering streams. And I already look those rotating, remember I said we're gonna have those rotating irrigation. They can do for 1 kilometer long. 1 kilometer, they keep rotating for 1 whole kilometer. So for sure, we're gonna use that. I think I made that proposal about a year ago, the first proposal on that. We are going to do that, artificial irrigation, and people gonna monitor and even carry them around. That's fine. They're gonna work few hours and rest on a shade, work 1 or 2 hours, rest on a shade. All these places gonna have that little gazebo, water on that feet. Okay, so you see these fancy restaurants that have water with little fish. That's exactly what we're gonna do what we're gonna have at those stations, resting stations, so people can cool down their feet, because it's gonna be burning, right? We are going to make boots, but also tennis shoes with those bumps, like bristles, thick, short bristles at tennis shoes and at boots, so people can work 1 or 2 hours on that heat, okay? So they really won't be touching the sand, okay? The bristles will be working. All right, but they're protected. In places they have snakes or scorpions, they use the boots. Mandatory, they cannot use tennis shoes. They have to use the boots. Makes sense? But they have these little things, they're fine. Okay, so while 2 other couples or 20 other couples are working something else, they rest their feet with fish. Why with fish, you may ask? Why we need fish there? But the fish, it's we know if they're fish swimming, we don't have chemicals on that water, because we have to think about everything. Some people are crazy in this planet, right? But we are praying for them, they're gonna be fine. But we know the water is good. Fish are alive, okay? So we know, and it's painted in white. These concrete things here, or those liners, gonna be like really bright yellow plastic liners, right? Because those are not liners, okay? So they put their feet there, okay? They put their feet there, and they're gonna sweat a lot. So we're gonna have a shower right here, so they can go in a shower. That's fine, because what we cannot have is people with wet clothes from sweat, because they have a lot of salt from the body, right? So they come here on this shower. People are gonna have pants, lightweight, synthetic pants. We have some, people will see what they feel most comfortable. That I think is the best, because the cotton has a problem. They are good for the sweat, but when they get wet from those showers, they're too heavy, okay? So we're gonna see what's the best. They take a shower and they change, put shorts and go home, because people can work only twice. They work 2 hours, stop for 1, work 2 hours, stop for, and go home, for the day. And gonna do other things on a shade. They can also sit down and do things here on a shade, but we have to figure out how we're gonna do that. If they exchange clothes every time, right? That I think is the most reasonable, and then they put everything on a cart. They have those carpets until their hotel and wash them all. Right? So probably they're gonna have 2 changes in the morning, 2 changes in the afternoon, but that's fine. We can't have people sore on their butts, their brassieres, right? Whichever they get sweaty, the underwear, or anywhere they can, or feet, right? So we need to figure those details out, but that's fine. As soon as they take they go in this shower. So, of course, they take their boots out, right? And they have a new set. So we can have right here, this place where we have their fish and resting area where they're going to be sorting seeds or, it's a work time. So they have to work, cannot study. Work is work, study, half day for each. Okay, so we can have cabinets. When they come every morning, they put clean clothes here. They put clean clothes. Nobody gonna be sick, with skin problems or anything, right? Okay, so when they bring their cart, they bring the clean clothes when they arrive to work. 6 o'clock, right? 6:20 in the morning. The 6:10 in the morning, I think, is the best, right? Because forbidden to work at night. All right, even that school, we already talked about that, so everyone gonna be safe. They see, if it's a snake, a scorpion, they see, right? It's mandatory, okay? All right, so, and it's forbidden to make plastic or bring or have plastic scorpions, plastic snakes, forbidden. To make jokes for no need, to make people scared or mean jokes. It's forbidden. People need to look and really look for safety, not spend time with jokes. Make sense? Because that is something serious. Some places in some deserts are not good. We have to focus and pray, right? To extinguish them. We can't even pray for them to go away. To extinguish those bad animals everywhere in the planet. Okay, so when they come, they bring this cart. This cart is like that, has a middle part here, so fit 2 boxes here, 2 boxes here, and 2 boxes on the very top. So they have, here they have a 10 centimeter. Let me make a little bigger. Here. Okay, so they fit 2 boxes here. 1, 2. They fit 2 boxes here. Okay, this is a shelf and this is the top shelf. And they fit 2 last boxes here. Here on the edge, you see the edge here? They are 10 centimeters tall and thick all around, so those boxes not falling. They're all plastic, they're all transparent plastic. So they bring 6 boxes them. This is the wheels. Okay? All right, and of course they have the holder here, right? The holder. So they bring with everything clean, even the towels, right? Okay? They bring. The towels easy. They hang on a line. Everyone gonna have their names, and they can use again. In a few minutes they are dry, right? With the desert heat, they are dry. They can use again. So they can work 1 hour. First is 1 hour for everybody, right? For 6 months. I think I already talked about that. And then after 6 months, they can already start applying to work 2 hours and be on a shade for 1 hour, right? Okay, but for 6 months, everyone gonna stay only 1 hour out in the desert. Okay, and 1 hour rest. 1 hour in the sun, 1 hour rest. Okay, after 6 months, and then people that want and feel good, they can apply. So that is January 1st. January 1st, 2024, they can start applying. Those that feel good for those 6 months, they can start, of course, they get more points. They can start applying to work 2 hours and rest 1. Okay? All right. So they bring, and when they go back, they bring the same things with their dirty clothes, right? Because the worst thing is for people to get sweaty with the salt of the body, and sand around, because maybe they need some more time to pray, maybe come a wind with sand, right? Okay, because we are not going to wear clothes like the Arabic. The best we can do, wet your head. That's fine. Okay, so that's how gonna work. We have this shower, right? Let me see here. We have this shower. So people take their salt of their body out entirely. So they can even shower with their own clothes. That's okay. They take some out. And some they keep, gonna be a curtain, of course, right? A proper curtain there. Okay, they change their clothes. The spouse help each other. They change their clothes. All right, they put their pants higher up to their knee, right? So they can be here in this cool lake, with a table, and they're gonna be planting, doing something else, sorting seeds, whichever it is. Okay? All right. So they take the shower, they take the sweat, they take the dirty clothes. Spouses help each other. Good? They take the salt off their body. So, and this is going to be really close, maybe 2 meters away from each other, something like that. The water from this shower going to come from the pumps, the same that is irrigating that 1 kilometer, right? Okay? And then they just walk and sit here this table with those fish there. All right, so of course they don't put shoes, anything. They just have carpet, you know, that they can sweep and take the sand out. All right, or even wooden boards, you know, above ground wooden board. No, not wooden boards, because not with hose. Carpet because keep humidity down, and for sure no snakes gonna be under. Okay, we have to check them, you know, every other month. We lift those carpets just to make sure no scorpions, nothing it's growing underneath, but for sure no snakes gonna be there, right? But we have to keep checking, of course. Okay, so they stay there for 1 whole hour. It will be perfect, because if the fish are alive, they know that the water is not burning hot. It has no chemicals, so it's perfect. We have cameras everywhere. People are going to feel good, get their feet there. So 10 minutes before they start their work, they already sit here in another table, right? Not table, I think just chairs, right? Or couches, whichever we have there. Because we want the places to be harmonious, right? We can have couches, right? And people can rest a little bit instead of sitting straight all the time. Maybe, you know, like we can have a love seat here and a love seat here, 2 love seats looking at the other people working or something like that. Okay, but they're close to each other. All right, so 10 minutes before, they put their socks, right? They put their boots, and they're ready to go to work with time, without hurry. Okay, so this way will be really perfect. They can rest, they can cool down. Now let me talk about the head. The head faucet, right? Or sink, I think sink. Okay, anytime people want, because that's amazing, can cool down. With elders, we have to be careful with this, so they won't just faint, right? But people that, of course, for 6 months, we can't have elders working on desert. They're going to work inside the villages, right? Inside the hotel property, okay? All right, they're going to they're going to do the same. Start with 1 hour for 6 months, okay? But who goes out, it's people that are more capable. Can even be one elder or another, but not for 6 months, okay? People that are more capable, younger and healthier, of course they're going to have more points, but they're going to do all this. They don't have diabetes, cholesterol, anything else. Okay, so they wet their head only at this sink, you know, and they stay there for about two minutes or so, right? And soak really well with the cold water. How are we going to have cold water? Or cool water. How are we going to have cool water right there? For them to take a shower and to cool their head. You know, and then they just dry a little bit and done. You know, even that they're dripping a little bit, that's fine. Okay, we need short hairs, that's for sure. For females, we need short hairs. Up on the chin, you know, so they won't be worried about this hair, or, you know, we can easily wash. All right, how we gonna have this cool water here? And for the shower, we need the cool water there. All right, I thought about that because we have this irrigation, right? That we are going to use for this 1 kilometer. Keep going round and round. People will push, right? Those things, right? Okay, or whichever is possible. If solar panel can do, of course, solar panel will be doing it. So the idea is to have the water comes from the water well, but one container gonna be hot, the other container gonna be the cool one. All right, make a little house for this cool one, right? Whichever is above, 2 meters high or something like that, made out of wood, and put an AC there. I think that's the best. Put a wall AC, those small AC. Done. That water gonna be cool in the morning anyways, right? Okay, in the morning we are sure so they can blend the hot water, that's above ground. Remember, that is this arrow water is the above ground, is the hot one. Sorry. No. This is the top water, right? It's on a house 2 meters high. Yeah, 2 meters high, so it has a narrow, because every desert gonna be different. We cannot paint red for warm and blue for cool. Yeah, so this one 2 meters high has this arrow. Got it? Okay. And they just like every shower faucet in the whole planet, right? In most normal countries, right? They have, but will be a arrow looking forward. The other one gonna have an arrow facing down. Is the one underground, because that water will be cool until about noon for sure. Okay? All right. So the pump will fill up both of them. When we have AC, for people to have cold water in the afternoon. Okay? And this is underground water, is cold. People can take a shower in the morning a few times, right? With this water. Make sense? Okay, so very good. So people will cool down their feet here with this fish, right? Guppies or even koi's, that's fine. So they will cool down entirely, drink lots of water. Of course, even the water they can drink, they need the cool water. So that's how they're gonna have cool water in the morning. And here gonna have cool water for the afternoon team to take a shower and drink. Very good? Okay, my friends, so here we are. Here's Goiana Ferreira from Florida. Okay, so look, beautiful day today. And here it is, our project for a better humanity, because we really need. Let's work unite, and volunteers from all the schools and families, friends, work with each other, type everything. Have videos made. We have so many doctors, with those beautiful videos. Let's talk to them, say, look, can you do a little adjustment here, a little adjustment there? So united, everyone will share our gifts. All right, we'll see you soon. Get ready. Okay, so in a few words, that's what it is. Let me just read the back here. All concrete base streams will have holes, concrete base, or plastic liners, very thick plastic liners. We'll have holes, on the side of them, okay, to release water to the tree roots that eventually gonna grow all the way down and really far away from them, such as 10, 20 meters from those streams. What we can have by the streams? Bushes, shrubs, flowers, herbs, food, that's fine, okay? That's fine. So those streams will be covered by side planted shrubs, flowers, I just said. I'm sorry. Okay, so here we have one more page posted. Look, it's one more notebook I got filled up. Now I just have to type everything. Okay, my friends, so we need smart people because I have no time. So if you volunteer and you can help, please search up about our beavers. How we are going to bring beavers to the proper biomes that we need them there. Not every biome, no. To proper biomes that they will be able, right, needs to be by those rivers, of course, that they will cut those trees and make those very sustainable dams, and where we're gonna get them from and how we're gonna produce them, and get those babies to grow with their parents so they are wild, and bring them right away to the proper biomes. Yeah, it sounds weird, right? But that's how it is. We can't grow them in captivity. All right, so we have to somehow, fence the entire places that have them, so they still growing as wild animals, and on a proper year, in a proper time, that might be 5 years or 18, right? We will bring them to those other places, okay? When those other places are ready to receive them, because we cannot grow them in captivity. It's like chickens. We can have a few, right? Chickens with eggs, but how they grow strong and learn, and they're more sustainable and stronger when they're grown with their own mothers, right? With their own mothers. All right, my friends, so here we are. So we need those beavers, and we need the bees. That's another thing. We need experts in bees, because it's very easy. Oh, we need European bees. Yeah, we need European bees. Yes, that's for sure. Because they're friendly, right? And they're the ones that, we can handle, right? Because African bees, that's just a general terms, because of course we have many different genetics of those same bees, right? Okay, so we have the African and we have the European. That's what my father used to use, So my father deal with bees since he was a kid, and along the years, and then late in life he got again for many years, he was on this business again. But anyways, that's the two words we are going to use. They're very simple to remember, everyone in the entire planet. So African bees, let's say this way, they're more aggressive, okay? And the European bees are the one more friendly, okay? So whichever we get that will be friendly, even those that maybe is other species that are African, if they're friendly, we're gonna call them European bees. All right, just to be easy. And every bee that is aggressive, we're gonna call them African bees. Oh, sorry, I don't think that is good, right? Because, yeah, that's okay. Keep like that, because many people nowadays, they call Italian bees, because we have many different, I already said, many genetics of both of them. Done. Okay, so aggressive bees, we're going to call them African bees. All right? And European bees, we're going to call them friendly. Those that they sell nowadays, they are called Italian bees. All right? They are the friendly ones. Okay? Just to be easy for now, and then we see if we change the words afterwards. But that's just the easy way. All right? What we need? We need those bees, like every biome. We need to have introduce different species, different genetics of the same species to different biomes we're gonna have. You see? So eventually, they will grow with that biome, but eventually they're gonna move around. But we have to do that so they will be strong, like we're doing with humans, right? And share. Because when they, cross-pollinate and grow in different biomes, of course, they're going to eventually have different genetic patterns, right? Okay, so very good. Now, the other thing that we really have to be careful, is with insects, mosquitoes, you know. We are, every country that have any problem, have malaria or yellow fever, anything, the the airports, right? As soon as they arrive, they cannot open the door straight because we still, this, every country gonna still send those trees. And you know, the leaf of those plants need to be inspected before they go to the airports. Make sure they don't have bugs in them, you know, because we don't want bad bugs to go where they don't have yet, you know, such as those deserts, you know, they don't have bad bugs or bad mosquitoes. We have to spray them, okay? So people will go to a room, shake their clothes, go to another room, you know, and then they leave that airport, you know. So as soon as they arrive, how many rooms they have? 2. They have here, they have the room number 1, the room number 2. They have to shake their clothes, open their, this is for people, right? Shake their clothes. They have to shake their bags, you know, clothes from their bags. Okay, all right. And people go to this other room. They, both of them have air conditioning, you know. I guess here between we have a little corridor, all right? And then they move, okay? And they shake also inside the airplane. Why? So no mosquito ever go in people's bag or people's clothes, okay? And of course, if anybody's caught doing that, you know, keep them in a plastic bag or eggs of them or anything, life penalty. In 10 years, they have their life penalty, and not now. Oh, by the way, on the future years, also will be forbidden to kill people right ahead. They did something wrong because some people, they have a short, you know, capacity of handle situations. So what we're gonna do? I think they have to wait 4 years, right? Have to wait. They did something wrong. It's a crime, right? They are not going to be killed right away. Okay, they have to wait 4 years to be killed. And for some things that are really, you know, and they're not going to leave their family there. Oh, so I'm gonna do something wrong, gonna kill myself, right? I'm gonna die, right? No, they have to wait 4 years and the entire family gonna be killed. The spouse, their children, and their elders, because we are not going to have kids in orphanage again. We are not going to have elders taking care of kids or babies. We're not going to anything wrong we did, humanity did along the centuries, the millenniums. All right, so they have to wait 4 years, but the entire family will be killed as well. Life penalty for everyone. Because that's the only way, my friends. We're going to stop with this. The other thing, it's mandatory for people that lose someone got really sick and die, anytime now or in the future centuries, millenniums, or eternity, right? Okay. If a person dies for natural death, they're very old, or whichever it is, we have to pray for that person to born again, okay? If it was planned or not, if a pregnant woman is already waiting for that spirit to born right away or not, maybe they have to wait 1 or 2 years or 5 years, whichever. Why? Because we don't want spirits flying around, you know, going to place, they don't know what they're doing, they don't even know they're dead, right? They're not really alive, or to bother their family members. It's forbidden. Or on the future, after 40, 100 years, someone born, you know, somewhere, they have health problems, they have physical problems, they have mental problems. Why? Because they were not having positive practice. They were not a positive spirit that was evolving spiritually. So we cannot have spirits coming, you know. I just put like that for some reason. Doesn't matter, right? We're spirits. Not spirit don't have not male or female, okay? You can call family members of the way they were, the name they were. That's okay. But the spirit is spirit, right? It's not male or female. Okay? All right. So this way we don't have suddenly in 100 years a spirit born and have all these health problems or mental problems because they were not practicing positive things. So it's mandatory. People need to keep coming back to earth because earth is where we evolve spiritually and earth is where we can enjoy life with all these beautiful things we have and keep talking about. Humanity going to be really beautiful and special, right? Every single day going to be special. Imagine, have families united, have festivals, have food, have water, have shelter. Have all this, we're going to be good to each other. We're going to have friends. We're going to have neighbors that are positive and happy, right? Okay, very good. Let's go back here. All right, so it's forbidden to carry insects. We are introducing, so we focus first to introduce one type, and then maybe in 2 years or so, they start sharing. They're going to learn how to make a new queen, a new bee queen, and then eventually they're going to share. All right? So I believe for bees, maybe every 5, so every village number 1 get one type, every village number 2 get another type. Make sense? All right. And with time, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to share. We're going to have a schedule for all these details, and we have 2 years to make all these basic improvements with all these families, 194 families, one from each country, gonna be here with us in the United States or in Brazil during this 2 years course and go over all these details, all right? And any new adjustment according to what they are, we already send. And some other adjustments, if needed, we wait for the beginning of a new semester to implement them. All right, so I believe every 5 or maybe even every 10 if we get. So everyone has a gift, as I said, right? So if you have bees, start making those new queens, so we are going, you can share them, right? And we're going to see which species you have, okay? And of course, we're going to send other pollinators. We're going to see which ones, right? Okay? And even for birds. But birds is like beavers. How are we going to keep them, in those proper environments and then send them? Probably birds is easier, 5 years. But beavers need wood, right? They love to eat wood and we don't have wood there yet. But for birds, that's easier. So, because right now we are living in many countries, right? Even inside the continents. So, it's easier. We get a wild bird and we send them to the new environment and a couple of birds, right? And they will reproduce right there. Many, not all of them, right? But many will work. We get a male, female, send them, and eventually many, of course, right? And the birds, the same thing. So here we're going to send a type of bird that's happy with that environment, another type of bird, another, makes sense? And then repeat everything. And eventually with time, why? Because if we have that bird, we need seeds for that bird, we need plants that they like, you see? So it's a whole thing to study. So we are not going to implement many birds at every village. Village is going to have a number and they're going to have their own birds, their own bees, according to what they have, that they will survive. So in 5 years, we're going to have many small trees. We're going to have many flowers, shrubs and bushes, right? Many different things. Also herbs and fruits, right? Okay, very good. Okay, so the other thing is for birds that eat fruits. So before they're ready, like in any farm already do that. What they do, they wrap them up or they harvest them. Okay, every fruit. Papayas, we're gonna cut. As soon as they get 2 meters tall, we cut them. That's easy. Coconut, they don't bother. They don't go in coconut. So for them to don't spread food in the deserts. Make sense? All right, so the birds won't spread fruit seeds around. So for everything else, that's easy. We keep them. And inside the village, where we are going to take care of our chickens, so we put the grains free there. That's okay, free. All right. The other thing is for the shelter, floor for the chickens as well, so that will be carpet, wet carpet. You get the water, twice in the morning, twice in the afternoon, and let the water run on those carpets, right? So they can step and won't burn their feet, right? Makes sense? So adults have shoes and the chickens gonna have carpet, but they need to start getting bugs and things. It's all right. So we're gonna have some containers, I believe, shallow containers, and you just grow worms in purpose and put on those things, so they're gonna be pecking there. I think that's the most sustainable. Or between those two carpets right here, this area, right? Between the carpets, we have a line, with those like planters, planters. And, people put those worms whichever time is possible, because the planters, can have even some strong, those not really succulents, but it's a type of bush that is very thick. It's look like succulents. They're very thick. They for sure they handle heat well, because if the succulents do, they do as well. All right, so you have a plant here, a plant there, right, between those two carpets. All right, before you release them, you can already poke the holes, right? So 6:10, people need to start working 6:10. They eat their breakfast later, an hour later, 2 hours later, according to their team, but their first little job, an hour job, right? Even before the sunrise for some time of the year, they poke the holes, right? And put the bugs right there, the worms, earthworms, okay? Because chicken they are not vegan, right? So they need grains, they need seeds, but they also need worms. That's how we're gonna do it, all right? So, and then they go straight to these areas, before you release them. Perfect. And on their house or other locations, they have the grains. So, but here will be the plants with earthworms, okay? Earthworms for them can come from anywhere, right? Because as I said another video last year, we have to be careful, because some worms, we don't even know if they're actually parasites for the humans, okay? But chickens, they eat even, they eat anything, right? And we need to train them and give them a good diet. So that's how we're gonna do. You put the planters there on the top of the carpet or under the ground, whichever is the best, and some plants around for them to get used to that worms are by the plants. So every meter or so you have that bush, right? That a bush, and then you put the hose, another meter, another plant, and you put the hose. Okay, before they come, they already have the earthworm right there. And those planters gonna be like boxes, maybe 40, let me think, 40 by 80 maybe, or even 40 by 1, 40 by 1, okay? And some time of the year they can put underground, so they can stay cooler longer, right? And the earthworms are protected inside. They reproduce inside the greenhouse. Greenhouse have heaters and have air conditioning. Done. You just put them here early in the morning. I just don't know according to the time of the year if it's too cold or too hot, because, you know, in the beginning, you know, and we have many different realities. We have north, the Asian desert, the northern side, and we have Sahara, right? So we have many different realities. No problem. You can put those planters in the ground or above ground, doesn't matter, because, you know, they're not too tall. They are 20 centimeters tall. Done. 20 centimeters tall. We have petroleum, we can make plastic containers. Done. On the future, we can make them with natural matter, but right now everything that we can make in plastic, of course we're going to save natural matter for what? For the compost, right? Because we can't use plastic for that. Makes sense? Very good. Here we are, and done. Okay, so when we can use, okay, so we have carpet. Every village gonna have their own color all around, their own color of carpet inside. They have this this big cemented area here in front of their property outside, 10 by 10 with a number, and they have right here the tower. This 4 meters tower with stairs gonna be right here. Why? Because when the thing, they're gonna be like lighthouses for the ocean. They have their thing circulating, so they look outside, they are recording inside, they're recording groups of people gonna go outside and come back, and they also gonna record the railroad, what time the train is passing. They're gonna keep track. Train need to honk, because trains also going to be monitored, right? On video cameras and also by sound. Everyone of the whole village will know what time it is, because they know the railroad, the train pass on this time and that time of the day, right? Okay? Because they go, they come back. Everyone is like that. And then they can drop off and exchange cards, you know, when it's needed. So this village drop off and they pick up another little train when it's time to exchange things. Okay? All right? Very good. Okay, so I think we are good. We already talked about praying for everyone. That's mandatory. So people that lost their family members, up to 20 years, I think that's reasonable. Up to 20 years, they have to figure out and pray, meditate. Meditate is with themselves, their own family, right? So they have to meditate to figure out if that grandfather, grandmother, or another person of the family pass away, if they already are born or not. So people need to do their own meditation. Meditation is when they figure out things themselves, where they need to be better, their family, right? Plan their day, plan their week, okay? That is meditation. Meditation. The other thing is prayer. We pray in gratitude, or we pray to God, to nature, right? God and nature items, nature things, right? Okay, and gratitude, that's a prayer. And meditation is for their own family and for themselves. All right, very good. Let's see what else we have here. So, a concrete base where plastic cannot go, right? Such as those, the main use, here's an improvement. The main use for concrete walls are where they're really needed, where plastic cannot be used. Okay, so lakes, those ponds we're gonna create everywhere, and those streams, we can use liners with bricks around, right? Big rocks, right? Okay, done. Plastic can be used, okay? So we are going to use concrete where we cannot use plastic, or where they're really needed, such as those big boards among mountains. Remember exactly like those canals on rivers. We're gonna make canals where is needed. We're gonna make canals. We're not letting them go anywhere they want, no, because as I said, we cannot have Sahara to become Sahara again in a few thousands of even 1 million years. We are doing this for eternity, so it needs to be a good plan. Now that we got this opportunity to do this, my friends, we have very smart people in our planet, so everyone has a gift, right? Or because they're smart, or because they have bees, or because they learn about the beavers, or because they learn about birds, or because they are builders, or plumbers, or electricians, or musicians, or they just know about their plants that grow in their area, right? Or they know how to captivate kids, they're great teachers or great parents. Everyone has a gift in our planet, so let's get it done, okay? So we're gonna use concretes for those very important walls. Where? On deserts. Where comes snow, right? Snow turning to water, or places that rain, you know, that we have those monsoons, that we're not losing those minerals. They get the water, get there. They have these big barriers of huge concrete walls. All right. Where is needed, we can make those barriers in plastic. Yes, it works. We slide the plastic 4 meters deep, dig, right? And we slide the plastic and we fill it up. We fill it up with rocks. We need some rocks to make stable. We can't just have sand, because then everything, you don't want to lose. You know, if you get a lot of water, everything just gonna go through, right? But according to the location, I'm gonna use concrete walls or slide those plastic panels, right? Okay, so they're huge. They can be even 100 meters, have the same plastic, right? And then we have to figure out how those plastic gonna be very strong. So maybe every 10 meters concrete, or how we gonna do it, you know, mostly for places that come too much water from one way or another. All right, the other thing I didn't say, I think I said once a very long time ago last year, but for every desert we're going to reforest. Eventually they're gonna have their own springs. Nature is amazing. You know, so we're gonna make those streams and lakes now, but eventually spring gonna just happen, right? They're gonna come from underground, you know. Nature is amazing, and it's gonna shoot up that water, even that comes from very different locations. You know, springs can come from flat ground, can come from mountains, can come from different places. As soon as they will have that and water keeps coming, they are going to fill up their own aquifers, right? Makes sense? We have huge aquifers in Africa. I already searched it up. So it's no problem, even that we have to dig 1 kilometer to find water to make those water wells. No problem. No problem. We do it 1 kilometer deep. No problem, because some are very deep. But we have technology to do it. We have people to do it. Everything gonna be free. From petroleum to concrete. We just have to be wise where the concrete is the most needed. But right now, while we have these 2 years for these 194 families, for sure they're going to be really, really smart and help us to figure out in the planet where those concretes are the most needed, and every detail we have been talking about. Okay, so spring's gonna come, rain gonna come, and springs, right? So that is a natural thing for life. Very good. What else we have to, yeah, if the water come from snow melting or from rain seasons, okay, whichever they're coming from, that is fine. Okay, so, and we're gonna use solar panels where it's needed for electricity. So we got these pumps running on the proper timer even. If we can put timer on sprinklers, irrigation, we can put timer for pumps as well. All right, so, and everything for sure gonna last many decades, you know, because we're gonna have different solar panels, different pumps, you know, maybe 2 pumps for before we move, right? Because right now we can fix them, but I believe, you know, we can do 2 pumps for every water well. If one break, the other is right there. While people fix one, the other is still working. All right, so 1, 2, 2 pumps for every water well. Make sense? If anything happen, if one break while the village fix, because everyone gonna be an expert in something, right? As soon, even to sign up, everyone gonna be expert in something. Great. So we have 2 pumps for every water well. Great? All right. So everyone gonna have plenty of water. And of course, we're gonna have those tanks, those water reservoirs everywhere and extra water. Because even that 2 break, in case, you know, we still have water for at least 4 days from each pump. So that's fine. We're going to have plenty of reservoirs. All right. We're not going to have that type of reservoir that is, amianto. I don't know the chemical they have. We can have regular plastic containers, you know, very big ones underground, I think, and on the roof, on the ceilings, you know, right here on the ceilings of those apartments. You know, I think that's really sustainable, you know, to have those 2 water wells with those arrows. So everyone, whichever they are, you know, if they're already there this 5 years or they're moving to one, the pattern is the same. They already know. One, they know it comes from the ceiling, and the other one they know that come from underground. So nobody ever gonna burn their hands when they're washing their hands. And children, young children up to 7 years old that can move in 2 years, you know, parents and teachers gonna already start talking to them, because or now or after. We're not, they're not going now for 2 years. They wait the 5 years. Make sense? They wait for the 5 years, you know, because then their children is not so little anymore. Okay? All right, they wait for their 5 years and then they move. But the parents, teachers already going to start talking about that. Okay? According to the supporting city they are located, you know, we already have an idea what time of the day they use the other one. You know, one is still colder, the other is the hot one. Okay? All right, my friends. So we got here one more page. What? Posted. So please type everything. Have those videos, and please talk, send emails to people that can do, they do harmonious shows, shows, right? With good music, English songs. Talk to them to do fundraising events for us, you know, so we can have as soon as possible piloting places for everything. So we need a school for every age level. We need a thrift store. We need a restaurant. You know, we need a city office, right? All those basic things. Please talk to them. Okay, we really appreciate. And the other thing, please also talk to those doctors that have very good videos for them to improve a little something here, something there, to make our videos. Or you, please do the videos, okay? Because most videos we have them about the plants, about the nutrition, about those deserts, about anything that you're an expert on. Get your family, your friends, make those videos and let us know. Okay? All right, my friends. So here we are. It's a gift to have your participate. All right, my friends, here we are. I got many tomatoes from the fruit stands that does not sell, the old ones. So I sort them out and got the seeds out. So I'm making a sauce, tomato sauce right here. No sugar, my friends, just a little salt, that's fine. Boil them well, the bacteria is gonna die, and then you open the lid afterwards. So cook for a good 30 minutes, 35 minutes. And then you open the lid to evaporate the water, because you need water for 30 minutes, good amount of water, for the bacteria really to die, so you need to be covered, all right? You open afterward to evaporate until how much you think is good. Okay, we got here some seeds from peppers, from squash, from cucumber, Here I just got one very good one. All the other ones are kind of flat, but I'm gonna put them in water right now to test them, because I have so many things. Look how many seeds of tomatoes. They were really bad, but the seeds are gonna keep them moist so I can plant, because many are already sprouting. So I got here different peppers, I took the center of it, you see? So I have here another one, from a green pepper, and I have here one cherry tomato. We're saving for seeds as well. You see, so like that, that's how we do it, my friends. So here I got more tomatoes. I think the best is on paper, for us to be good with it, right? And you can just loosen them up if needed. The independent ones you can already put, you can put them all in water, for 5 minutes. They're gonna release from the paper. That's really easy. Here's my tomatoes. I got many tomatoes. Avocados. So I just finished cleaning them up. I did a guacamole with little pieces, good pieces from one and another. But here they are. And I'm going to plant them, you cannot let them dry. You have to plant them right away. Put the sticks and stand them up properly so they will already grow, okay? And I have here, I don't know this in English, but I got those, and I think this is good, you see, will work. I took some bad parts, for some things you don't know what to do. If you keep the bad parts, not good. If you take them out, you might damage the center of the plant. But this one is also very good, they seem very good, this part, so I hope will work. So let's see, because that's what I got, and I got 2 other ones in the fridge, but I'm gonna plant them all, because this is hard to find here in Florida. In Brazil have a whole bunch, but not here. And we need most variety if possible. So I got some regular potatoes as well. So let's plant all varieties of potato. And it's mandatory to eat the potato skin, because all the soil is going to be organic and they have nutrients as well. All right, so I still have to get seeds from this one, So here I got a skinny pepper, those that are more spicy. And here it is, And I still have to take this one out right there, you see? So there is mushy, but anyways, save the seeds. Everyone needs to go to supermarkets or street markets to get those, whichever they have, that they can share with you. Leave some for other people. You ask them, do you believe other people are going to come today? Okay? If they don't, you bring everything with you. Okay? But if they are already having other families already coming, and then of course you share, you ask them how many. And people that work at those locations can already leave them neat. And don't wait too long for those fruits, vegetables to get too bad. They already offer them to share with others. Okay? All right, my friends. So here we are. Planting all these things. Look, how many lemons, And it's forbidden for us to use the word lime. We are going to wait every lemon to be ripe. you know, be properly ripe for us to use it, okay? So we are not taking lime, because lime is what? Is lemon that are green and they're not ready. But far as I know, for all different varieties I saw, you know, on the tree, they become yellow. You know, they start to become yellow when they're ready, and then you can get them. You don't get them when they are really green. They don't have juice on them, right? So it's forbidden, okay? We wait for them to be yellow, or at least a half yellow, for us to harvest that fruit. Very good? Okay. And many fruits we are going to plant in proper locations, and I think will be good to at the deserts. We are going to have them. We plant them now. We are going to have them close to the hotel property, and I think by the 18th year or even 16th year we start to, I think 18th year, it's good. We get everything. You know, the trees, we cut down the trees that grow in cuttings we bring inside, you know, shred them really properly, turn them into mulch, because we cannot have any fruit trees or nuts, seeds, anything, right? The other thing we have to be careful is sunflower, right? So before the birds come and start picking on them and carrying them all over, right, we have to be careful. Okay, plant them inside the hotel property. We're also gonna be people around, you know, and scare any bird, okay? And maybe we don't even need birds, you know. Let's see how we go. Just we focus in bacteria, because that is what I think is we can trust the most. All right, very good. And at our future areas the same way, focus in bacteria for everything, okay? All right, my friends, let's get ready. Get all the seeds you have, you know, and plant them, because afterwards we just do grafting, but plant every single thing you have. Look how beautiful. Plant them all right? So here we are. Here's Goiana Ferreira from Florida. You know, that's my apartment. And by the way, we have to move soon, because the contract here is valid only for 1 year. So if you have an apartment somewhere, United States or in Brazil, please let us know. We need 3 bedrooms, okay? Because my parents gonna live with us as well. So we need 1 for the kids, 1 for us, and 1 for my parents, okay? Because we have to move. We cannot stay here. Yes, all right. Let's get going. Let's get organized and start this beautiful work. We see you soon. The other thing is that we can still produce the basics, such as garlic with salt, and print properly, you know, not herbs, but garlic and salt. It's something very easy, right? And we can also, at their own local places, we can also scrape the lemon, you know, and make great seasoning for us to have something different, right? Okay. The other thing is that for breads, instead of stove buns, you know, after 6 months, we can already start making the tortillas or pita bread, you know, because they're easy to make, and I think we can do both of them on stovetop. All right, let's get ready. Oh, the other thing is that, you know, the old refrigerators that they have all this part, we can raise guppies on them. Yes, we can raise guppies. You know, guppies, because we need some kind of bacteria at those ponds. Maybe we don't. Let me think about. So maybe we have larger fish to eat, okay? And maybe we don't need, at those ponds that I said we need guppies, maybe we don't need guppies. Maybe we just add bacteria. But while we live there, we are going to have guppies, because then we are sure the water is clean. So we are sure everyone that is stepping on that water is safe. There's no chemical and nothing harmful, right? Okay, very good. The other update for the plastic for parties can be simple things like that, you know. Those are the small ones, so they are what? About 2 by 4 more or less, or up to 4 by 4. Very simple, you see. You can put there in watermelon, cantaloupe, you know, whichever you have in there, okay? And then the larger ones, it's more for anniversaries, for weddings, okay? Look, we can have very simple things. Those two are considered small. And the bigger ones we need, why? To have different parties, so we have track of different parties with different decorations. And we can also have some different felt, you know, to put on a back, you know, for wedding, for anniversary, for birthday, right? Or let's celebrate, you know, such as for business to have there, because we need 4 different types of parties. So that's what I figure out. That, oh, sorry, let me fix here now. It's a good 40 minutes. Let's do 40 minutes. If you get tomatoes from farmers or from those supermarkets that are not good, take well the bacteria, kill the bacteria really well. 40 minutes. All right, so now you can leave semi-open a few minutes or completely open, just for the water to evaporate until you see mine here have a little water left. So maybe 5 minutes. So I come here and I put the alarm, just 5 minutes, that's enough, and you can use anywhere. They're very good. Lycopene for all of us. Let's get ready. And in the future, we're also gonna harvest tomatoes just for this purpose, okay? To make some sauce and add to our food. Okay, so the other thing, let me finish this. And even some china plates will be used for serving, not to eat. It needs to be bowl. But so people will have a combination of different things. That's fine, because we need those. All right? Okay. And we're gonna think about which ones we can keep for after the 20 years, or if we're gonna get rid of it. Okay? At 20 years, because the most important are these first 20 years. You know, we don't want things to be breaking afterwards. So some china are really delicate, and we're not going to spend time dealing with delicate things. We want things that are really strong and easy to use, but maybe will be useful. Okay, so we're gonna let you know afterwards. All right, my friends, so here we are. The other thing that we're not going to have cell phones after 20 years, right? Or internet or anything like that. So people, professionals in the area are going to make a drawing of that couple. You know, they make for their wedding and very, very special events, they make a drawing. Professionals in the area can do that. Because Waldorf students already learned how to do that, you know, so they have a little memory on how was it, instead of pictures. But we're going to give you a confirmation of this afterwards, because maybe we don't need other people to be drawing themselves. Maybe their own family member, and yeah, maybe not. But let's think a little bit about, all right? Okay, very good. We see you soon. Any can that you have, you keep. You know, those small ones for tunas, can maybe put a little trash in it, or they can keep seeds, you know, keep them right now. You just have to with small hammers, you know, or even the back of a good utensil, cooking utensil, you tap and you will take out any imperfection, so nobody will get hurt on those sides. Take very well the lid entirely, right? And we are going to use, you can use them to put some measurements of rock dust, or natural fertilizer, or liquid fertilizer, whichever it is, keep them. And every classroom, you're gonna have one. So if somebody have any hair coming, they put in there. Larger one's gonna have pencil, colored pencil shavings. All right, you're gonna give more details on size for each one, but keep them for now, okay? good 5 years, keep them all. All right, very good. And we recycle them afterwards, those that we don't need. Take care. The other thing is for any coffee grounds you have. So you're gonna cook first, twice, right? For the following team, right? And then exchange every 6 months. Okay, so you keep them all so you can put on your compost. The other thing, everything we can, we are going to do in aquaponics because that's what we have. Okay, so we are going to do our aquaponics, such as onions. You know, if you have, you know, those little onions, those tiny onions, green onions, herbs, you know, all of them. Because easily they're gonna sprout, and even a little tower, a half-meter tower of aquaponics, a plastic container, they will work well. All right, so that's really good because we need to work in greenhouses with heater, with air conditioning, right? Because of the extreme temperatures from 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the afternoon, right? The temperature outside gonna change a lot, right? Okay, mostly in winter time, gonna be freezing at night at some deserts, and during the day gonna be burning hot. But it's okay, we have air conditioning, we have heaters, right? At the same wall unit. Okay, and we can put how many is needed, right? They're gonna be very simple, very easy to clean, maintain, you know, so we have to open them up, we have to put oil, you know, take good care of them, right? So they will last forever. Those from deserts, we're gonna bring them. Those new ones for deserts, we're gonna bring them to the beach areas. We're gonna leave afterwards. All right, okay, so the other thing, this is stems. They're really old, a little old, because I took them just to remember to make the video. So this is from the Brazilian spinach. So if you have anything like that, you cannot mix with salad, because some elders, their intestine is not so good, you know, the walls of their intestine is not strong anymore, you know, and their stomach doesn't digest well. So you just, yes, you cut them like every other stem that's a little harder, from parsley, from cilantro, or from the longevity spinach, or this spinach, right? Okay, so what you do, you cut them really tiny, as I showed you before. You do not cook them, you know, and you put them in a separate container. That's all. So people will come, so they will serve themselves, right, a little bit, okay? They can put right on their hands, you know, and chew them 50 times before even they start eating. They don't mix with their meals because of what I just told you. We don't want anybody to have them, you know, or feel indigestion, or have them, you know, because some of them are hard, right? Have them rip their intestine, mostly for these 5 first years. So if you have any big cutting or old cutting, they're more stiff, you know, plant them and you know, avoid doing that. But the thinner ones you can do. People every day they're gonna have something, because when they chew, they're gonna get a lot of those nutrients from different herbs, okay, different greens as well, okay. But for those that are thicker, such as kale, collard greens, what else, broccoli is different. So from kale and collard greens, you cut them tiny, cook them, okay, with the rice. Cook them entirely, not just for the last few minutes like we're gonna do in future years. That's how I have been doing my you know, my whole life, since I got my kids. But for these first 5 years, cook them entirely, okay? All right. Now for the broccoli, you cannot just cut them and put on a pan. You have to take the outside parts because some are very thick, right? They are about 2 by 2, so you have to take that fiber, the thick fiber, put them on a compost, cut them small and put them on a compost. The center, you know, if it's soft, you just put to cook, okay? Because this way we are safe, all right? Okay, for 5 years, what we're gonna do? We are going to cook the stems from the broccoli, kale, and collard greens with the rice entirely for all those 20 or 40 minutes, depends the rice you're gonna be doing. Let's get ready and see you soon. The other thing, when you get seeds, you look if they're already sprouting or not, okay? You look, you know, because the best when you get them, you already plant them. The best as possible, you already plant them because they are moist, right? They have a little bit of fruit on them, right? Do not put them in your mouth. If it's possible, just cut a little bit like that. Because if you put in your mouth, remember what you have to do? You have to pour hot water on them, you know, or just when the water is boiling, you put the seeds in the water for 2 minutes and no more. So they won't ever burn the inside part, but will kill any bacteria from people's mouth, okay? Because we don't want fungus to get into that soil before the proper time. You know, the bacteria from the soil, you know, the best is to come a little after. We don't want those sprouts to get bacteria or fungus right away. All right, so just do the best you can. I can't plant them today, so I just put a tiny water, you see? So every 2 days or so you have to rinse. I'm doing the same with this, you know, because many are sprouting. I cannot put them to dry. You can't see the camera, I guess, but they're mixed. I have no time to separate them. So just keep rinsing so they won't get mildew, right? Anything bad. All right, my friends, let's get ready. The other thing for my peppers, my tomatoes, remember, you do the best you can. When you take them and then you scrape the spoon gently like this and that and keep going, right? All right, and then you put in a container like this. All right, so when you come here, you know, you put water and you pour it on your container. So you can see the good ones you stay on the bottom. Look, you see I left a little few fibers. Look, but the fibers and the ones that, you see all the fiber gone. Look, all the good ones stay. You just do a few times and it works. All the fiber, look, you know, you wait a little bit and see which ones sink are the good ones. You see more fiber coming out. I don't know if you can see, but anyways, you see one more fiber left. So that's what I did. Look, here are my tomatoes, right? You can do strong, it's no problem. What you have to be careful with this spoon, when you scrape them, you have to be careful. And also when you cut cucumber, anything else, right? When you cut them. All right, the seeds, that's what you have to be careful. Cut the sides and then you can scoop the good seeds. But look, I did the tomato. Look, it's nothing left, you see? All the good ones stay, you see? But you have no more fiber from the tomato with rare exceptions, and all the good ones are right on the bottom. Let's get ready, my friends. Plant the most you can and start sharing. Okay, we see you soon. The other thing for coffee, we are not going to use any filter in cotton or in paper, you know, because we can have more nutrients like that, you know, after boiling, because now we have cafeterias and then we just boil the second time, right? So first time the coffee makers and the second time, the word is coffee maker. The second time you boil, all right? Okay, very good. So you just wait a few seconds, you know, so it boil ready for the 2 minutes. You come very slowly and naturally, the coffee grounds will stay at the bottom, and you're gonna have the coffee right there, okay? So you have more nutrients and we don't need filter. Very good, we see you soon. Things for popcorn, everything that you can, peanuts, if it's raw, my friends, purchase as soon as possible, because you're gonna need to plant, right? Everywhere we need food, okay? Now there is a fruit that still evaluating. I think the name is dragon fruit, look like a cactus, right? For us to plant during these 18 years. So fruits at the desert is only for 18 years, okay? And they will freeze the best as possible, and those that they can just dry out, so they can have for the last year and a half or so, right? The last year. And which ones we're gonna really take out at the 18th year, and which last ones can be at the 19 years. So for sure the last year we're not going to have any fruits or nuts, anything that is planted. Okay, we're just gonna save them at freezers, right, as I just said. Okay, so, but right now, my friends, get them all. And if you can purchase different varieties or from different companies, go ahead. And then, because they're gonna have different genetics, right? In a few words, that's how it works. All right, so you're gonna plant different. So if you have 4 companies, you purchase from 4 different companies, because for sure they come from different states, different producers, all right? From different countries. Go ahead, my friends. If they are non-GMO and raw, let's get ready and have most seeds as possible. Very good. And the same for every seed, right? Passion fruit, tomatoes, peaches, apples, everything. Okay, here it is. Let's get ready and plant the most as possible. Okay? Very good. We see you soon. Alright, make sure you never have those bumps from the water. If you just make oxygen, into those bottles and put the clean water, it's okay. But this, have too many roots breathing there. So make sure you rinse every other day until they have the roots you need for those 2 weeks. Usually is plenty for most of the cuttings, right? In 2 weeks, they're good, ready to go. Okay? So because this type of water, of course, not good. So let me go very quick there and rinse, because I keep them here because they have about 2 hours or so of sun on this part of the table, this time of the year. So here it is. All right, my friends, let's get ready. Beautiful day. Okay, so we have a few things to share now. The first thing is people that drink wine. So they have to live in a county that does not have grapes, because some people, even with the smell of it, will be willing to have a wine or remember that grape make wines. Very simple. So we will have some counties that won't have wine for 18 years. Won't have grapes, okay? Planted for 18 years. All right? Very good. Now it's for people that tried suicide before, So for suicide, the same thing. It's forbidden for them to be at the kitchen, helping or cutting vegetables or anything that has the knife there. Okay? So for everything gonna be like that, exactly like that. Everything gonna be planned, so they can't do it, and then we're gonna have, because once is that people try suicide once, right? So I think after 18 years, they're gonna be happy enough, and that's okay for them to work at the kitchen. People that try more than once for lifetime, they can't go to the kitchen ever, can work with sharp knives or sharp scissors, right? Okay, very good. So those two things are already also established. They are safe, they never even think about. After 18 years, here's okay. And this for lifetime, then it's okay as well. The other thing is for people that abuse children or have online pictures, they were searching for those things online for children. They cannot ever work with children. And those that look online for young girls, like teenagers, right? Those young adults, okay, they can never work with them. They can work then with very young, or they can work with adults, okay? So everything gonna be like that, because some people, they're not strong. They're not strong, So that's what we're gonna do. The other things, for example, for people that already they cheat on their partner, right? So they can't work, for example, at nature events. Why? Nature events gonna be many beautiful people, right? Because everyone gonna be beautiful, right? People that are happy and make love, they have families united, stress-free, they eat healthy, they're beautiful. Everyone, males, females, right? They can't work at hotels and also cannot work at nature events, because we're gonna have parties there, right? Events, people gonna dress up nicely, because it's a special events, the most normal thing on the planet, but they can't work there, right? People that were already, or even those that did not cheat, but online, they were already looking for magazines, for websites that have pornography, right? They were already not happy with the one they have beside them. Or those that didn't even try hard enough to have someone beside them, and instead they were looking online, they were looking to others, right? Okay, so they can't work at places, not at graduations, and special events of any type, because as I said, people gonna dress up, especially on this day. So everything we're gonna figure out, and food, we're not going to have sugar anyways, and people that had addiction before to sugar, to wheat, they're not going to work with them, such as hydration drink. On the future gonna be plain salt and plain sugar, right? We're gonna keep those for 5 years. The hydration drink now, 5 years, I think is plenty, right? It's a drink with, no, let's keep for 10. Let's keep for 10, because we still have to make sure everyone gonna be really healthy and no one ever gonna be dehydrated, because people that really got dehydrated before, they know what's the feeling. It's not good, it's not fun, and no one needs that, right? We need to be healthy and strong. Okay, but we have sugar there, right? Okay, they can't work there. Very simple. People that are gonna make the tortillas, flatbread, if they're addicted to gluten, they can't work there, but only for 5 years, I think, is enough, right? And here for sugar, for 5 years is enough. So we are gonna keep the sugar, right? Cane sugar planted, for ourselves without processing them. We can eat them out of straight from the, I don't even know how they're called, I'm so sorry. But the plant itself, right? We cut in pieces and we eat, okay? And we can even make juices, where the juices from cane sugar can be offered. At nature events, right? Special events, we can offer that. A small cup, they have a lot of iron, a lot of nutrients, you see? But it's not to take every day. They have a lot of sugar. But for special events, that's fine. So for everything, when people are going to fill up their Peace app, right? Gonna go everything. Where did you work? Where did you live? What do you like? What you don't like? What you like to eat the most? What you hate to eat? So people gonna have everything, and according to their answer, other questions gonna come up or not. For all the questions gonna be like that. Okay. So people gonna fill up, and then already gonna come, because everything is an app, right? We have app now, we have computers to help us, so let's do it. And they're already gonna say you can't work here, 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 and here. Okay? All right, and already gonna tell how many years. They can't work on that area. Very simple. Okay? All right, very good. They're gonna work with something else. The other thing that I was going to tell you, it's for the here graduation, right? Oh, I forgot now. We come back in a minute. Okay, as for the sugar, we're gonna process them now and keep them in cabinets now for total of 10 years, because of course if we need in the future we're gonna have more fruits, we cut the fruit and give to people, but everyone gonna keep some process in case they don't have enough fruits. Okay, so we keep for 10 years some right there in a cabinet, sugar and salt, because if needed quickly you just can mix a spoon of each in the water and you're done. All right, let's talk about food that people hate, because it happens, right? Some people never ate when they were little or older, or they learned that was not healthy, not good, and that's how they grow up. But we know that food, planted in the ground, not processed food, but real food, it's very healthy for us. We need to eat most variety as possible and chew really well every single bite. Okay, so I got an idea. I hope it works. So for the 5 first years, for the food people hate, they can avoid 4 different ones. I think is reasonable. They choose, they have written, and that is done. That's okay. They don't have to eat. Okay? Because we don't want people to throw up. Some people, they really have a version of it. Okay, so that's for the first 5 years. Okay? But can't be, of course, the meat and egg, for example, because we need protein, right? Okay, so they have to figure out which ones. They can't hate both, because both are protein. We need protein, such as vegans. Okay, so all right, you can choose 4. You're gonna write the Peace app, and that's okay. And you can change every year. You can change. So I already know which ones. Every 6 months you can change. That's fine, because more things gonna grow, and maybe you hate something else even worse than the others. So it's okay, but no more than 4. And cannot be 2 proteins that are offered at your location. So egg for sure is mandatory for everyone for this first year to have 1 egg a day. And for the second year to have 2 eggs a day. Okay, 1 egg a day and 2 eggs a day, right? Okay, because they have many other nutrients, that we really need, even iodine. They even have iodine. All right, after 5 years, they can avoid, no, after 10 years, they can avoid 2. So up to 10 years, let's do here, up to 10 years, they avoid 4. And after 10 years, they can avoid 2. So this way will be good for everyone, okay? In a real reasonable way, and they choose, right? Everybody gonna choose according to what they have right there. And in the meanwhile, it's all right, but they have to start eating a little bit. Let's put the portion like 2 by 2, Even that's a half spoon, not 2 by 2. 1 tablespoon per month. Yeah, 1 tablespoon per month. I think that's reasonable, right? So for people to get adjusted to it, okay? So I believe all the vegetables we're gonna plant, all the existing vegetables, and you still can avoid 4. But this is not mandatory, okay? To try a little bit each time, not mandatory, okay? All right. Now, for these other things I said here earlier, right? If you did one thing, if you did another, you can't do this, you can't do that. Okay, you're going to lose points because we have to do something, right? But just a little bit. As I said, our work is not to hurt anyone, it's to make the best as possible to make people to have a good adjustment time and be really successful. But we have to take some points. People can't work in a kitchen. They have to take some points out because the right is for people at schools, at residential communities to share days and help, right? But just a little bit for here, a little bit for there, all right? I think that's really reasonable, and everything about points we're gonna let you after the conference launching day, okay? And the Peace app as well, we're gonna be after launching day. So for June and July, write everything at your family records book. What you gonna write? Remember, I already posted a video with the basics for family, and you're gonna focus on your reality, you know, the best as possible. Get 10 items for each person, what they need the most, you know, and start talking about the rest. You're gonna have meetings every day, right? 20 minutes after dinner, you start talking. If we can, we will already have on August 2nd, we will already have the Peace app for people to start practicing, start filling them up, okay, because everybody's gonna be home and hopefully the Peace app gonna be ready. For you volunteers that are listening to us, if you want to already plan and have it ready, a Peace app, go ahead. We didn't have anyone to offer that yet, so please go ahead and have it ready, you know, so we can launch that on August 2nd, you know, for people that are gonna be 4 weeks at home to start filling them up. All right, and remember for the Peace app, two times, everything gonna be deleted, but you have in your memory, because people need to know about their lives in the memory, not on a Peace app, right? Okay, as soon as one day you finish everything, you know, you're gonna have a printout with the most important items. You know, because I don't know if we're going to print 40 pages for each person, it seems too much. But the most important items you're going to have printed out, you're going to keep at home with your documents. All right, very good. And as soon as you finish the Peace app and already start practicing for at least, I don't know, maybe 2 months, and then you can become registered with the organization. All right, that's the objective with all families of our planet Earth. Very good. I think 2 months is reasonable, right? They finish the paperwork. In 2 months, they prove they are practicing everything, and then they become registered. People that are registered, what they become? They become the organization guardians, right? They help our organization. And what that means, look around, pay attention, their own family, their own practice, their community, right? Their co-workers, the school colleagues, right? They look. But everyone, the whole planet, gonna be the organization guardians. And we're gonna have beautiful days for people, you know, at the launching day for the new approved 10 department directors, and of course at the graduation, the first 2 years of university course that we're gonna offer, gonna be a beautiful graduation day, a celebration. All right, my friends, let's get ready. We see you soon. All right, my friends, so here we are. So we are going to have different fish, right? Only for food, maybe, right? Maybe we don't need the guppies, all right? So we're gonna have the plants planted in containers, and slowly they are going to have mulch beside them and grow on the ground, okay? But they have that base with irrigation. So the hoses, the dripping hoses come, and they have a hole only at the container, so we're never gonna lose anything. because their base is here. And then in the future, when they're established at the ground, we just take those containers to keep planting more a little further from the hotel village, right? And then this hose goes to the ground. We just make more hose, but then we don't need the planters anymore every meter or so, right? Okay? And then we just make the hose afterwards and keep them forever at that location for these 20 years. They need to be in color opposite of their ground, right? Not green, of course, because eventually going to be plants all over, but such as bright yellow, bright orange, bright red, and maybe a blue, right? Yeah. Maybe a clear blue. A clear blue will work, not a dark one, because we're going to have many dark plants. All right, very good. So maybe we don't need many birds as well, because the birds, for the seeds, we don't really need, because we're going to have rain. The seed's going to come down. The tree is going to fall down by themselves, so we don't need birds to spread seeds. So that's what it is. Pollinators we need. We need bees, as I said. We need beavers. We need different fungi and things. So right now, places that gonna start planting mushrooms on logs, right? Okay, as soon as those desert villages gonna be ready, maybe in 5 years or so, we're gonna have plenty of logs to send them, so they can be for food, right? They can eat for food. And also, they will start in the greenhouses, right? In a shaded location. But eventually they're gonna be put also in the desert in the future years when we have more, like a little woods, right? A little forest. Okay. So we will need percolation tanks. Yes, we will plant. We need short trees first. Okay, short ones, because remember those irrigation systems that can reach up to 1 kilometer diameter. So will be 500 meters radial, right? That they go around. Okay. So, but we need the small ones or slow growing trees first. Those two first, because we can't have this too high, right? It's better if we work with them a long time for 1 meter than a long time for 2 meters, right? It's quite hard to have them up to 4 meters. So, and then we plant this fast growing, but they're gonna be little babies, so they eventually gonna catch up and pass the others. But this way will be much easier for us to manage this big irrigation system. Okay, so about edibles, I already talked a lot, what we can have, what we can't, and by 18 years we take almost everything. And for the very last year, we can keep one or another, right? So we don't have to keep sending food for that last year, the deserts. Okay, what else we have to... Oh, so I just explained about the dripping irrigation hoses, And that's the same for the trees. Remember the tree lines that we are going to make? All right. So for now, we get I believe the best is to get those little trains and water both sides of the railroad, right? The railroad. And as soon as possible, we're going to keep making more dripping hoses and keep sending to them, so we don't need those trains anymore. Make sense? All right, very good. So they can have their own dripping hoses right at each tree. So for now, gonna be every 10 meters apart, right? With those main trees we need. Here it's okay. Here can already be the ones that grow fast, right? And after, we're gonna have eventually plant one in the middle. So every 10 meters to start, and then in the future, every middle we plant, every 5 meters we plant those other middle ones. Let's see what else. The other thing we have to, I already said, but let me just remind everyone, we have to be careful with invasives. All right, now, we have here in Florida a lot of Australian pines. They are huge, right? They're really, really tall, but I never saw one in the ground. Their wood is strong and does not work for us. For regular, to fall, you know, as a falling trees to renew the environment they are. They're not good for this, but they are very good for areas that have already too much wind or no mountains, you know, so they will make a barrier, a good barrier on those locations we don't have mountains. All right? Very good. Okay. And we have another tree that is brittle. So we already have the tababuia, right? Tababuia. And we have one more. I'm going to give you the name right now, okay? All right, my friends, let's say a few words about this. You know, let's talk about the structure. The first thing you're going to evaluate is the wind. So, but it's not harmonious. So we can take just this little top here. This is one example, right? Because I'm giving many examples. So you take this little part out and you use as the soil material, right? So you will also take just this part out and make also as a soil material, okay? And keep the rest as a barrier against wind, against water, to go to other biome, okay? That's very important for us to focus these things. Those are already not too tall, so if you don't need the soil, you don't take them, leave them there. But those are not harmonious. You see, they're too tall, and those here, I think is fine to cut them there. This is quite low, leave them there. You know, this if you need, you take, otherwise you just leave. But the main structure, you leave there, you don't touch, okay? All right, very good. If they have any cave, any tunnel, anywhere, deserts or not, that's one rule for everyone in all continents. You have to explode them and compact them really well, and put a lot of water for the soil to go into those holes, okay? So any cave, any tunnel, all right? Unless there are city tunnels, they can stay for these 5 years because some of them are right by the beach, right? And we're gonna let you know what we're gonna do to go to other cities. If will be better, you know, depends the type of rock, or if we're gonna make the street around those tunnels, because some are very short. Makes sense, right? If the rock is really strong, we leave them there. But if the rock is not strong, or if they are too long, those tunnels, like Rio de Janeiro, have a lot of tunnels because we have the rocks, the mountains right there by the beach. So if they're too long or the rock is not really sturdy, we're just gonna make the street and the railroad around those rocks, okay? And every beautiful mountain that is really strong can stay exactly like that at the beach areas. And we can make a little park or a little view. We can make the stairs, right? With wood, and every, I don't know, 20, 40 years renew them. 20 maybe, right? With hardwood. Or if we make them on the rock itself, I think wood is better. Make them really well made appropriately, okay? All right, so that's what it is. A few more updates for all of us. The scientific name for this tree, it's Delonyx regia. This tree is very good, okay? And we even have some similar ones, but I don't know. Jacaranda, we have a lot in Brazil, but I don't know if the wood is also brittle. We have to study about that. But this one here, so if we get the name of this plant, I'm gonna show you here, you know, because that tree is very good. You know, it lives in Brazil with about 5 months of plain rain every day or almost every day, and about 5 months of plain dry season. So this tree is another very good, it's like tababu, you know which tree is that? And the wood is brittle, you know. Every storm we have here, you know, big storms, we see some branches on the floor. So this wood will be very good for some biomes to be introduced at the desert, because the pieces of wood are gonna fall, right? With the winds, we're gonna pray to have winds, and gonna give microorganisms, gonna make that soil fertile from those branches, gonna fall all the time. And those flowers, you know, so this is very good as well. Okay, so we have to plant millions and billions of these trees. Another very good one. Okay, so here it is. Now let me show you more images. Okay, so I don't know why they put jacaranda here, but that's how they're called in English. Now I remember. Royal Poinciana. Here it is. Okay, Royal Poinciana. All right, and we have many other trees. Yeah, I don't know why they write this one there, yellow trumpet. That's beautiful, right? Okay, so here it is. So that's what you do. You search about the ones you have in your region, you know, and according to all this information I have been giving you, you already know which ones are the best, and we're gonna use them all. So just keep, and then we're gonna see. We're gonna say the numbers. So villages, number 1 can have this, that tree, and this, that bush. Okay, so we are going to do this. And then so you plant anything you have in your region. You plant them, you harvest those seeds and plant them, because they're gonna value much more points, you know, if you send them alive, you know, even that they're smaller, because to send even 10 centimeters tall, you can send them, right? But to plant in the ground, that we're gonna have, be more careful to plant them, unless it's a stick, like they do in Asia. The desert planted in Asia, they do a lot of sticks. They put the sticks there, right? I think they root them first, but it's a plain stick. They don't have many leaves, right? So it's a plain stick. They plant in a proper time of the year. So you can do cuttings as well, but the ones that are already planted and alive, you know, gonna have much more points. Okay, the other thing, when the tree is young, right, or even older, we are going to cover them up with a natural resin. So for now, I think it's reasonable if you can have a real paint, a natural paint, you know, because I have seen that, and I don't know which country, I don't know where they're from, but they cover, you know, the bark to protect from the very hard heat, you know, so the branch is protected. So one thing is that we start with, as soon as they are ½ meter from the ground, that's okay. They cannot have the branches falling over and touch the ground, you know, to avoid any scorpion or snakes or anything else to be hidden in that area, right? That's important. So for now, we're gonna have, I think for the first 10 years or so, right? Maybe 5. ½ meter, that's plenty. On the future, for the other 10 years, for example, then gonna be 1 meter, you know, because we're gonna have more plants and we need to be more careful about any other animals that they won't hide there, okay? But for now, for 5 years for sure, a half it's fine, because we won't have that many biodiversity there right now, okay? But we have to be careful. The other thing that we have to be careful is with the meat. Remember I said we're gonna get the wild animals and crumble them up, you know, and put as bacteria. We have to be careful where we're gonna put, because and how we're gonna do. So if we attract any hunt, that's fine, you know, they're gonna come, we kill them, you know, and people eat as meat, or they can eat as or they can use them as bacteria growth, you know. But other than that proper location that will be the hunting location, we're not just putting everywhere, as I said before, because we don't want wild animals to be walking around all over with the scent from it. So the good idea is to do in a straight line. For example, if we have the railroad, you know, if we have the railroad like this, okay, so we can put this bacteria right there by the railroad, you know. So we already know the wild animals gonna be right there, but not around the whole county, the whole village, you know, that 5 kilometers, 5 square kilometers. You know, we're just gonna do both sides of the railroad. And when people are doing their prayers to attract wild animal, they're going to pray for those animals to stop right here. And it will happen. It will happen. Okay? So those that walk in groups, those that walk alone, those animals, mammals or not, ask them to stop right there. Because we, with prayer, we can do those type of things. Some people can do, everyone can do it, right? You just start praying, and then as soon as you find a group of animals, or one animal by itself, because some don't walk much, you know, they find another one, they reproduce, and then they leave each other, right? Some animals from the wild, they're like that. Okay, as soon as you find one or a group, you block them. So other people from the region won't search. Remember, I talked about that? A group or an individual, you just block them and ask them to wait right here. In other locations, you know, such as in other counties, you pray for them to go to the highest highway, or a railroad as well, you know, because this way anyone in all countries of the entire planet already know where the meat from wild gonna stay and where they're gonna pray to come. So you pray, and when they get close, you know, they're gonna stop right there. You have to believe, and it will happen, okay? You call, and then they're gonna be right there for land animals. And for those at the ocean, you're gonna call, of course, for them to come to the beach, right? Fish or whales, right? Okay, so you got this for the water animals, right? The ocean animals, and for the river to come to the beach of that river. And you just have to be ready to catch them, whichever, who you calling. You calling a whale, or you calling a school or fish to eat. You have to be ready to get them. And here for the land, you know, we're gonna pray for the biggest highway you have in your county, the biggest one, because everyone in the entire planet know where they are. If you don't have them, for sure you have this, or you will have both. But everyone already know. Okay. All right. So the the train's gonna walk slow anyways. The truck's gonna drive slow anyways. Okay. And when you pray, you make sure you stop them right there. You stop. They will not cross. You can do that. You pray, and you make a barrier. Stop right here. This right here means, I think maybe 5 meters away. Why? Because when the water trucks pass, they're gonna be watering, that meat that's crumbled up with hay or whichever it is, or mulch, right? To decompose and make a line with a lot of bacteria for us to plant trees there as soon as possible, right? So after a few months, 2 months or so, that for sure that in any land of any type, that will be plenty of time. Okay, because then those water trucks gonna be passing here, and they can easily reach what? 4 meters away from the end of this highway or from the end of this railroad track. Okay, so they get their water, they pass, they water, they pass, they come back, they water. So everyone that goes water and everyone that... Yeah, so at this 50 meters, you're gonna have better traps for them, right? To really get them. At this 200, you have nothing, because when they get close by to the location you're praying, on here, this 50 meters, you have a better piece of meat or something that attracts them most, and not only the meat on the ground. Make sense? Okay, the underground meat gonna give scent to them, right? For them to get closer when it gets there. But then you have a better piece of whichever it is, the animal, right? That's something they like to eat to get closer. All right. For the meat that gonna be placed in the ground, you have to be careful so you won't have vultures flying around. Okay, so when you do beside the highways or beside the railroad track, right? Beside highways or beside... All right, so when you put the meat, on the side of those stations, and you're also gonna call the animals to be right there, so that's also good, because when an animal come, we're gonna kill it, and already maybe right there, I think it's possible for us to already crumble that animal and put on that area with local people working there, right? The only thing that we have to see for railroad, is that when it comes to the intersection, people need to walk slower. People, pedestrians, or cars going the other way, or water trucks, right? Or distribution center trucks, when they cross. Why? Because on this first 6 months or so, they're not going to make a lot of noise. Why? Because might be animals right here that they gonna be killing, right? With one way or another. All right? So instead of making a lot of noise from far away, like we're gonna do in the future, after the first year or so, they're gonna come quiet, and as they water, somebody already look ahead. So if they're going this way, someone go look ahead. Any animal, any animal. They have binoculars and already keep checking. Makes sense? Because when they go slower, right? Slow. Yes, there is. Oh, a whole bunch. Oh no, 1 or 2. So they already know what to expect and prepare the people to already shoot them, right? With bow and arrows, or maybe rifles, but not those that shoot too many. And of course, people that can work here with those rifles are people that never hurt anybody before, right? Makes sense? Or they never had weird practices before. They can't work in such places, right? They're called security places, like everything else I just said, right? people gonna work in places that they're 100% safe. They never were depressed before. They don't want to kill anyone. They don't want to kill themselves. Not now and not in the past, right? Okay, so they shoot a large group of animals or just maybe one or two, right? They shoot. And this person with binoculars gonna look from far away, already tell them, yes, it's a big group, get ready. What are they? Oh, it's this or this. They already tell the type. Oh, it's just one or two. So people that are on these open wagons, they're ready, standing up or sitting down right there, okay? If needed, they even have a stand beside them, so if they're sitting right on the edge of the wagon, sorry. So they have a stand, so they embrace, so they really have that firmness, to look in the direction they're going and already shoot, right, the direction they're going. I think that's really good. So they have that gun right there, right? If there were Indians know already how to do well with bow and arrows. You put something on that arrow, and whichever chemical, I don't know what they use, and that animal lay down in 2 minutes. It's anesthesia, some kind of anesthesia they put on the point of that arrow. And this as well, if we can already kill, we can already kill. If we have anesthesia, we have anesthesia. Whichever you have in your country, let's use, because, we have them, we use them, right? As soon as people never had any previous bad practice. So that person sitting here, it's already embracing this stand, and they have even their legs out, right? So they don't have to stand up, because that is not really firm, right? They cannot miss any animal. They cannot miss, okay? And those that have already trained, they're good in mirrors, right? They're gonna have a pre-test, okay? They can do it, and their spouse is right there to help in anything they need, right? Their spouse of who? Of natives with bow and arrows, or maybe with police that practice shooting before. Their spouse is right there to fill this up, or help them in anything that's needed. And who is up front? The people looking up front with the binoculars, telling what it's right there up front, and the spouse, is in charge to listen and tell. Oh, that's the type of animal. Okay, I'm gonna use this. Oh, that's the type of animal. Okay, I'm gonna use that. Okay? All right? Very good. So they kill the animal, but they keep going. They keep going. And then they have the information, right, of how many, how was. And they contact the village, that city, right? We got this, they're dead, so they will go there, because some just work for some time. They have to cut the head off entirely of all those animals as soon as possible, right? Before the anesthesia go away, right? Because we don't want to put venom on, because we have to use that meat, the best as possible for consumption, and also to put in our plants. We don't want venom on, to be even traces of it is not needed. We just do with anesthesia. That's fine, because it's gonna leach out in the soil, right? Okay? And if it's safe, people eat. If it's not safe, they don't eat, right? Because anesthesia, what harm can be? People rinse well, cook well, they can leave it soaked for a day, or, something like that, right? To take that out. But wild animals is this good meat, right? It's more rough. You just have to cook in a pressure pan. Those pressure pans you cook beans. All right, you have to cook wild meat on the pressure pan. Okay, and people that gonna consume just gonna be written mammal, that's it. And the person that's cooking, when it's preparing, they will already know. They get a hammer, you know, this cooking hammer, you know, and pound them, put some salt and pound them many times, those beefs, right? But gonna only set mammal, that's it. Mammal is mammal, you know. The maximum gonna write is mammal from ocean, you know, so people have an idea from ocean, or land mammal. That's it. You know, the people that are gonna be cooking, they're gonna see, oh, this meat is hard. Okay, chop them up a bit more and put longer the pressure pan. So no one, even the cooker, if they know, they can tell. Will know, and for sure everybody that's eating won't know what they are, because what the difference, you know, between mammals that some countries use and mammals that some other countries use, right? What's the difference? They're all mammals, done. So people use cows in some countries. In some other countries, cows are sacred. Some people eat dogs in some countries, and in others they don't. They're all mammals. That's how we're gonna do it. So people can eat them as soon as their meat, you know, they're gonna cook more for these 5 years. They cook more, no problem at all. They're protein, you eat them, okay? Just the cooker don't even gonna tell, oh, we cook this meat 10 minutes, like 10, 12 minutes like beans, or we cook this meat for 40. Don't even tell anybody, forbidden to tell. So people that gonna be eating won't feel disgust about this animal, that animal, because they were not raised to eat dogs or cows, right? Make sense? Okay, very good. It's forbidden. We're just gonna write what the words we're gonna write. Ocean mammals, or land mammals. That's it. Okay, my friends, very good. So as soon as they kill the animals, they tell that city, they know which city they're passing, right? And that the villagers need to come. They stop, for example, working at the gardens, people that live right there close by, those railroad, right? They're planting, or they're doing reforestation, they're preparing the soil, is a rural wear, whichever it is always people, right? Maybe every every 2 kilometers, I think we need people living there, right? Because this place is gonna be great for reforestation, because the trucks or the trains pass, come back, pass, come back. They will be the last ones to take out. So it's a great place to reforestation right there. We don't need hoses for water. We get proper water tanks at those trains or at trucks. Okay? All right, very good. And what else I have to say? So they come, they get in. So that's what it is. Every 2 kilometers, we need a few families living there. How they gonna live? Oh, whichever is possible, you know, because they are going to work to reforest that land, and when needed, they're gonna take care of those animals. So those animals, I believe, you know, that if we cut them in large pieces, like logs, we can put them in certain machines and crumble them up exactly like mulch, right? If we do logs for mulch, we can do animals for crumble meat, right? You know, and if some of them are really strong that can even get hardwood, for sure we can get some of them that are strong for bones, most bones, right? If a very large animal have a very large bone, and then they see what they do. But I think for most of the other bones, for sure we can get machines like that. So, and then they can share, right? And the animals, if they have to stay 24 hours to wait to share machines with the other villagers, you know, we're gonna call them villagers, all right? So that's how we're gonna call. We're gonna call reforestation, not villages because they're just a very few families. Reforestation, hotels by highways, and the other ones, reforestation, hotels by railroad tracks. All right, so they can share those machines, right? So come mulch, come hay, or whichever it is, they gonna go the tractor, come back, go the tractor, come back, long, far away, as soon as they come back at the midday or before 6 o'clock. They go, come back, go, come back. So this is a great place to plant our trees everywhere. Because remember, even in center of continents that have good soil, we need to implement most different types of trees now, because we're not going to live at the center of continents. We need to do now as most as possible for this first 5 years, because we're going to start living afterwards. So we need to leave a great biodiversity and plan well where those walls going to stay, mountains going to stay, plateaus, right? Very good, my friends. Let's get going. We'll see you soon with more updates. Thank you. Please remember, subscribe to our channel, activate the bell so you receive all the new notifications. And soon we're gonna have some live streams, and we're gonna make a break, you know, because June and July is coming. We have to focus with the teachers conference. All right, okay, because here you have all those videos from May with the most update as possible. A good start out for everyone. So you get the videos from January 2022 and those videos from May 2023, and you combine them and you have the most right there. Okay? All right, and of course updates, as you know, the oldest update is the one that's valid. All right, very good. So let's get many trees, learn about them, look online everything that you have at your own county. Get the seeds and plant them, okay? All right, so here we are, Goiana Ferreira from Florida, and I see you soon. Thank you. Okay, my friends, for everything that we have in history, we take pictures, we do videos, and done. Pictures for the books, right? Videos for our documentaries, right? But they're done. We're not keeping any cave, any even that they have this artwork, because some of them are not even true. Somebody went there, touched up or created. Some are true, but not all of them. It's the same as museums. Some of them are honest enough to say this is a replica, right, of the proper animals. Some the visitors see and they don't even know if they are made up or if they're real, okay? And some is right between. They say, those are the bones we found and we made a few to complete the structure, right? So we're not going to have any of caves, any cave in any continent for artwork, even that was very special or not, and things like that, because many things are fake, okay? All right. And we can't have caves anyways. We already talked about that. We're gonna block the air and compact very well, put a lot of water for the holes to be really close up, and compact again. Put more water, more dirt, compact again. All right, and we are I think for these 5 years the only thing we're gonna continue to get from nature, right, resources, is the petroleum and salt. That's it. Because and salt from the ones on the surface, But those in caves, we are already going to demolish and cover them up. We're not going to continue extracting salt from caves anywhere, any type. We have water from the ocean to get salt from, right? Okay, those that are on surface, we can still get only on continents that we still need, because we need a lot of salt. You know, until we have our own made in this beautiful, special, positive and sustainable process, gonna take some time. So we can have them now, that's fine. All right, from surface, and you know, for most years as possible. So in 5 years, we can continue extracting them and no more, okay? And people gonna be working at those places close by. They live there close by, right? They take turns, right? They work in the morning or afternoon and study on the other time. All right? Very good. And for museums, gonna have a very little bit of each, you know, the most important things that happen in history, those that are real, okay? All right? And sustainable. We're not going to have these huge dinosaurs in museums, because make no sense. We take pictures and put on books and we are done. All right, make videos, you know, and close down. All these huge museums gonna be closed down. We're gonna have simple, small museums only with what really matters. Okay, from all civilizations that did special things, that's fine. Okay, very good. Let's get ready.